Good morning. This is Giovanni Gallucci, joined by Chloe Dawn and Rachel Donovan, and this is the Daily Trend Report.
Morning, Giovanni. Sunglasses are already on before the coffee even landed.
Morning, both. I did the pre-dawn drive out past the highway and shot a roll of film before either of you were up.
Of course you did. 3 things today. The share nobody can see in your analytics, a protein brand that got caught by its own review section, and one little distiller in Fort Worth who outthought a giant. Let's go.
So Travis put this one on my desk and I haven't been able to shake it. Snapchat just published data on the one thing none of us can measure. The private share. Not the post that goes wide. The message you send to one person saying you've got to see this.
The dark social problem. Every strategist knows it's there, and nobody can prove it.
Right, and now there are numbers. Survey of more than 1,000 users. 1 in 3 say they're likely to message their inner circle about something that matters. People who got that kind of share were 71% more likely to try a new brand in the category, and 1.4 times more likely to act after seeing an ad.
The category was sportsbook, though. Does that travel?
The category is beside the point. The mechanic is the thing, and the mechanic is generic. A peak moment and a one-to-one handoff. You could be selling salsa and it holds.
That's what got me. We have spent 10 years optimizing for the broadcast. Reach, impressions, the number that looks good in a screenshot for the client.
And the whole time, the move that actually converts is happening in a DM you'll never see. Here's the uncomfortable part. If your entire content plan is built to be admired by 1,000 strangers, you built for the wrong verb. Admiration doesn't travel. Forwarding does.
So how do you build for a share you can't track?
You design the artifact for one person, not the crowd. Think about the last thing you personally sent to a friend. It wasn't a brand's glossy hero shot. It was specific. It was a little bit inside. It said, "This is for you, because I know you." That's the register. Make the thing that finishes the sentence, "You have to see this."
I like that the most valuable thing on the platform is the thing the platform can't sell you an ad against.
There's a little justice in it. The comment section builds the relationship. The DM is where the relationship gets spent.
Give me the concrete version. What does a made-to-forward post actually look like for a small brand?
Say you run a regional hot sauce. The broadcast version is a beauty shot of the bottle with a clever line. The forward version is a 15-second clip that says, "If your buddy puts hot sauce on everything, send them this. We made one that's too hot to admit you like." Now the post has a job. It's a tool for one person to tag another. You built the share into the thing instead of hoping for it.
And it gives the sender a reason. They look like they know something.
That's the quiet engine under all of it. When somebody forwards you, they aren't doing you a favor. They're spending their own taste to look good to a friend. Your job is to make them look good. Make the send flattering to the person sending it, and they'll do your distribution for free.
Which is the opposite of begging for a tag in the caption.
Nobody ever forwarded a post because the caption said, "Tag a friend who needs this." That line is where reach goes to die.
So we should basically stop trusting the reach number.
Trust it less. Reach tells you how many people scrolled past. Sends tell you how many people staked something to pass you along. One is weather. The other is a decision. Build for the decision and the reach tends to follow anyway, just quieter and better.
Give me the tell. How do I know in advance a post is built to forward?
Read it back and ask who the second person is. Not the audience, the friend they send it to. If you can't picture that handoff, you made a billboard. A billboard is fine for awareness. It won't move through a group chat, and the group chat is where trust actually lives now.
Build for the group chat. Got it.
3 things you can actually do with this before the coffee is cold. 1. Once a month, build a post for an audience of 1, not the crowd. One friend telling another friend. If it doesn't finish the sentence, "You have to see this," it isn't the one.
2. Change the number you report. Pull sends and saves to the top of the deck and push likes to the bottom, so the team starts making the thing that gets forwarded.
3. Go read your own DMs and your close friends' replies for a week. The language people use when they share you privately is the exact hook you should be leading your next posts with.
Okay, my desk. And Kendall and Eddie both flagged the same story from different angles, so it earned the slot. A protein brand got caught changing its recipe, not by a journalist, by its own review section.
The Owen story.
The Owen story. Simply Good Foods bought Owen for $280 million back in 2024. Plant-based, ready-to-drink protein, the whole clean label promise. Then they quietly swapped the pea protein supplier.
And nobody announced it.
Nobody announced it for about 16 months. But the drinks changed. Taste, texture, shelf life. And the customers tasted it immediately. The reviews turned chalky and thin and off before a single institutional party said a word.
That's the whole story right there, and it's worth sitting with. The people who bought this brand for its ingredients were the first instrument to detect that the ingredients had changed. Not the auditors, not the analysts, the regulars in the review section.
And it cost them $200 million impairment on the brand. Stock down about 70% since they bought it.
$250 million in value, undone by a supplier swap they thought nobody would notice. Somebody in a spreadsheet decided the new protein saved a few cents a unit. The customers ran the taste test the company skipped.
Now here's where I want to be careful, because the obvious read is a food safety lecture, and that isn't our lane.
No, and it isn't the lesson. The lesson is about who you're actually accountable to, and it's a social lesson. Your loyalists aren't your audience. They're your quality control. And if you treat them like a mailing list, you find out the hard way that they were the only people paying close enough attention to keep you honest.
So for a small brand that hasn't sold out, that hasn't changed a thing, what's the move?
You make that loyalty visible before anybody tests it. You build a real circle out of your most obsessive customers, and you put them on camera. The ones who noticed you before you were cool, name them. A tasting group that gets the batch first and tells you the truth. Feature what they say, the good and the picky.
So the trust is public.
The trust is public, it's specific, and it belongs to real people with names. That's the asset a conglomerate can't buy in an acquisition. A giant can copy your recipe by lunch. It can't copy 200 people who will vouch for you because you've been in their replies for 3 years. When your superfans tell your story, a quiet reformulation becomes impossible, because somebody would notice out loud, and everybody already trusts them.
The review section as the smoke alarm.
And the superfans as the people who installed it.
There's a version of this that Giant Food does badly, right? They treat reviews as customer service tickets to close.
They close the ticket and miss the signal. A 1-star review that 50 people co-sign isn't a complaint. It's the largest free focus group a brand will ever be handed, and most brands spend it arguing. When your community catches something, thank them in public, and fix it in public. That reply is content, and it's the most credible content you'll make all year, because you didn't write it about yourself.
Does this scale down to a brand with, what, 4,000 followers?
It scales better small. 4,000 followers means you can actually know the 50 who matter. A giant can't. Your disadvantage in budget is your advantage in intimacy. Use it while you have it, because the day you get big enough to lose track of those 50 is the day you become the brand that swaps the supplier and hopes. 3 moves out of this one, and none of them happen in a factory. 1. Build a named inner circle from your 20 most loyal customers this month. First, access to every batch, a real line to you, and a standing invitation to tell you the truth on the record.
2. When a review catches something, reply on camera, not in a support macro. Thank the person by name and show the fix. The correction is the most trustworthy post you'll publish.
3. Turn your best reviews into a running segment. Read the real ones out loud, the picky ones included, and let the people who keep you honest become the face of why you're worth trusting.
Last stretch, and this is the one Eddie dropped on the tactics desk that I keep turning over. A little distillery in Fort Worth called La Pulga.
Tequila brand?
Tequila brand. And what they did is so simple, it's almost rude. Every year they put out a TCU Horned Frogs collector bottle. The 2024 purple label sold out. So this year they did something new. They took the sold-out 2024, the 2025 Blackout Edition, and the new 2026 bottle, and boxed them together as a 3-year collection. 100 sets. Individually numbered. $180.
100 units total.
100 units total. And that's the whole genius of it. Last year's scarcity became this year's product. They didn't manufacture hype, they banked it, and then they sold it back a year later at a premium. to the exact people who missed out the first time.
And 100 numbered bottles is a number a tiny operation can actually make.
That's the part every small brand needs to hear. 100 is producible, 100 is real, and every single one of those buyers is going to photograph the number on their bottle without anybody asking. The scarcity does the marketing, the collector does the posting. You aren't buying reach, you're engineering a reason for 100 proud people to make content for you.
Now compare that to the other end of the same week.
Please, because the contrast is the lesson. Same 7 days, Coca-Cola rolls out its college football push. Creators recruited at partner campuses, a fantasy sports tie-in, a 74-stop campus tour.
74 stops!
74. And think about what Coke is actually buying there. They're renting local authenticity, 74 locations of it, because a global brand doesn't have a hometown. That's a company spending millions to simulate the one thing a regional operator already owns for free.
One real community.
One real community and one real place. So the takeaway isn't that Coke is wrong. Coke is doing the only thing a giant can do. The takeaway is for everybody smaller. Don't line up and try to outscale that. You'll lose, and it'll cost you everything to lose. Out-specific it. 100 numbered bottles for one college town beats 74 rented tailgates because the 100 are real and the 74 are a media buy wearing a Letterman jacket.
That last line is going on a sticker.
Put a number on it and sell 100.
What makes the collectible mechanic work when so many limited drops just feel like a gimmick?
The difference is whether the scarcity is honest. A gimmick is a fake countdown clock on something you have a warehouse full of. This works because the 2024 bottle genuinely sold out, so the box set couldn't exist without last year being real. You can't fake the receipt. And the numbering matters more than people think. Number 7 of 100 is a story the owner tells. A bottle from a big even run is just a bottle. The number is the content.
So the drop isn't the product. The drop is the excuse to post.
The drop is the excuse to post, and you design the excuse. That's the whole trick.
It also gives the buyer a rank. 7 of 100 sounds like membership.
It's membership. You didn't just sell a bottle, you sold a spot in a set that only 100 people on Earth will ever hold. Scarcity that's real turns a customer into a charter member, and charter members don't churn. They frame the thing and they defend you in the comments.
Does the town have to be a college town, or is that just this example?
Any real belonging works. A team, a neighborhood, a trade, a scene. The only rule is that you actually belong to it, because the audience can smell a brand that parachuted in for the quarter. Pick the place you'd be at on a Friday night anyway, and make the thing only a regular could make.
The place you'd be anyway. That's the filter.
3 things from this one, and then we'll let you get on with your day. 1. Turn last year's sold-out thing into this year's product. Bundle the additions people missed, number them, and let scarcity you already earned do the selling twice.
2. Pick a number you can actually make. 100 real units that ship beats 1,000 you promise, because every numbered piece is a customer who will post the proof for you.
3. Don't outscale a giant, outspecific it. Go all the way in on one town, one team, one community you actually belong to, and make the thing only a local could make.
That's the show. Look, if you run a food or beverage brand and your community shows up but nobody is home to answer them, that's what I do. I run community management and the real relationships around it. The superfans, the creators worth partnering with, the UGC that actually sounds like your people. 15 plus years of it, all in food and beverage. If your comment section deserves a human, come find me, gallucci.net or DM at gallucci.net on Instagram or LinkedIn. Go make something worth forwarding.